Good afternoon and welcome to 660 Club here at Mad Anywhere. And we are going to be exploring the topic of growth today. We've got 6 companies pitching their big idea to GSK for the chance to win a 20K paid pilot. As Justin mentioned, my name's Jeremy Basset and I'm CEO of CoCubed. We're an innovation agency based here in London that sits at the nexus of corporates and startups, helping take the world's biggest corporates and connecting them to the world's most innovative startups. Here's a 30-second overview of what we do. What I love about CoCubed is that we sit at the intersection of large corporate strategy and the world's most innovative companies. And today we're going to be continuing that journey with a company called GSK, who you're going to be hearing from soon, connecting to 6 innovative startups. There's never been a more important time for the industry to work with startups. Startups are inventing the future. They're creating an industry that is far more efficient, far more effective, and far more agile than traditional ways of working. And there's a huge amount that we can not only learn from them, but we can also gain from working with companies. They offer you a glimpse into the future as well. And so what I encourage you to do is not just sit back and watch this session, but lean forward and think about how can you take the tools and the technologies that you're going to be seeing today and apply them to your brand or to your clients. There's literally 15,000 marketing tech startups out there around the world, and there's a huge amount of innovation that you can be connecting into your brands. A few months ago, we connected with GSK, who gave us a challenge. How can we use digital tools to drive the growth of our business? And since then, we invited startups from around the world to apply, and we narrowed that down with the help of a panel to get to the 6 companies you're going to meet here today. They're pitching for the opportunity to run a paid pilot with GSK, which is valued at 20K pounds. But hopefully, it's a much bigger opportunity than that as well as they explore a longer-term partnership. So to tell us more about the brief and about GSK, I'm joined here by Jason. Jason, welcome to Mad Anywhere. Oh, I assume we can hear Jason. I can't actually hear him. But Jason, can you tell us a little bit about your role, GSK? Give us background on the company and what you do there.
Yeah, so hopefully everyone can hear me.
Perfect.
My name's Jason Andree. I'm the head of GSK's global content and earned media team. The team essentially sits across all of our global brands to increase marketing performance through our brand assets and our consumers' digital touchpoints. Our main objective is to create brand experiences that consumers want to engage with. At GSK, we make sure that we're not serving our consumers, we're not selling to our consumers, we're serving them. And we want to make sure that our brands are top of mind when consumers need us most. And for consumers to allow you to be there when they need you most, you need to create amazing brand experiences that people choose to interact with. GSK brands want to make sure that we're connecting with people and creating positive experience with a two-way value exchange. GSK is on a journey itself through our digital transformation, and ideas like we'll see today help us understand how we can better serve our consumers.
Awesome. So, Jason, talk us through the brief. Obviously, you want to drive growth through digital tools. What does that look like? What does that mean? What are you looking for today?
Yeah, it's a good question. So digital is definitely where people are. So there's no doubt about that. And the rapid change of digital increases consumers' expectations of brands. Consumers want brands who provide them with high quality products for sure, but now more than ever, high quality experiences as well. And that means that brands need to keep up with the consumer's expectations. To be just as fast as our consumer, we cannot do this alone, and working with nimble companies ensures that our brands are on pace with consumers' expectations. But it also allows us the opportunity to build on our current experiences by augmenting them with fresh ideas. So growth for me comes from solutions that create more consumers that enjoy our brands through our products, but also through more interactions that people generally enjoy.
Okay, cool. And that links nicely into that whole strategy of serving rather than selling. In terms of criteria and the startups that you're looking at today, what's the criteria that you're going to be applying to work out which company gets the chance to work with GSK?
Yeah. So first off, thanks for everyone for presenting and for putting in the thoughtful response to this challenge. I hope my criteria is simple. So one, it's around creativity. I'm going to be looking for solutions that help us build experiences that I myself would want to engage with as a consumer. Second would be practicality. Is this something we can easily implement? And also, is it going to create an experience for the consumer with adding zero additional friction? And then lastly, impact to the consumer. Is this something that's going to impact the consumer in a way that they ultimately credit the brand for?
I love that. Great criteria to apply. We're going to come right back to that, but now it's time to kick off with our pitches. So as I said, we've got 6 pitches. These are going to be fast and furious, 3-minute pitches, followed by a couple of minutes for questions. And then we're going to give Jason and the team at GSK 5 minutes to deliberate and work out who will be the winner of the 20K paid pilot. So to kick things off, we're going to start with the consumer and with an interesting approach to looking at how do you build and utilize consumer panels. From Instapanel, here's Oscar. Oscar, over to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. And thank you for the opportunity. My name is Oscar Trelles, and I oversee commercial strategy at Instapanel. And one way to characterize what we do is that we are on a mission to reinvent focus groups for a time when we now have access to people walking around with the mobile devices and being able to provide input and feedback in real time and in context, because they can do this wherever they are. And typically the way this works is that we use social media for recruitment of panelists. So people will sign up, will see an ad on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat if they're looking for younger individuals. They don't know why they're seeing the ads, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of targetable attributes that we can use to zero in on the right audiences and avoid the professional survey takers and people that make a living out of going to focus groups and things like that. Now, once we have them, we can show them any kind of content or ask them any kind of questions, and then they record themselves on video on their own devices. So our video capture technology is web-based, so there's no apps installed, no plugins to install. It just works in any kind of device. Could be laptops, tablets, smartphones. And then once we have all this material, the bulk of the work that we do is extracting insights from these video responses. So we will do transcriptions, translations when needed, because we do support about 25 global languages right now. And once we have all that, our analysts will come in and sociologically tag their responses, which means that we are not just looking at keywords, but actually trying to understand the concepts and notions that are being expressed in the responses provided by the panelists. And once we have all that data, we collate it into an interactive infographic, which looks very much like this. Maybe I can have a quick minute. I can show you a little bit of how that looks like. So we have for this particular study, we were helping a brand from Latin America, a cosmetics brand, launch in Europe. So they wanted to gather insights from women that wear makeup in different countries in the continent. So if I click on any of the thumbnails, we could see all the responses that we got from them. There is a quick overview of the demographic information, and all of this is interactive, right? So if I wanted to see more data behind the people that mention affordability as a factor in their decision-making process, I could click on that, and then my screen is split between the people that mentioned that here on the left and everybody else on the right. And here's where a lot of the magic happens in terms of digging deep into the insights that we can get from panelists. So with that, I'll leave it there and give you a chance to ask some questions.
Well done, Oscar. Great pitch and right on time there. Jason, we've got time for a couple of questions.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, Oscar. One of my questions is around what type of stimuli can you put in front of consumers? Is it just questions, or can you show them experiences, landing page, anything like that?
Yes, so actually we can ask them open-ended questions. We can show them images, videos. We can embed a whole website in the survey because, again, it's all web-based. So it just opens up the possibilities that we can put in front of people. It could be even an interactive experience, like a 360 video of a store or something like that, which we have done in the past.
Very great. And have you used it mainly for comms messaging or innovation, would you say?
The bulk of the work that we have done so far is around messaging and creative testing. We've done a little bit of a product innovation with some companies, but that's like a growing practice within the business. It's not yet a large portion of what we do, but it's definitely growing, and we're interested in doing more of those kind of projects.
Brilliant.
Great.
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today, but do stick around, Oscar. We're going to be announcing the winner right after this. So now it's time to jump into our second pitch, and nothing speaks stronger to consumers than a voice that's familiar. User-generated content has been around for years, but a company that is bringing a huge amount of innovation to this space is Myappy. And from Myappy, we're joined by Samuel. Samuel, over to you.
Hi. So my name's Sam. I lead the business development team here, and I'm currently the enterprise account director at Myappy. So essentially my mission is to basically help as many of the world's biggest brands as I can overcome the massive trust issue associated with the modern consumer. And we do that through earned media. So how do we get more of GSK's products into the hands of more consumers? Well, I think one of the biggest challenges that brands are facing in a post-Cambridge Analytica, post-GDPR sort of global pandemic world that we're in is, well, consumer trust is at an all-time low. Trust in the government, trust in professionals, trust in brands, and trust in just about everything. So, this is with the exception of other consumers. People tend to trust strangers more than they trust brands now. And the Global Trust and Advertising Report says that 92% of consumers trust earned media above all other forms of traditional marketing. So effectively what that means is people still want to hear about your products and services. They just no longer want to hear about it from you guys. And I think we as marketeers need to understand that, we're now in an era of social proofing, and we've left the marketing world of deploying deceptive marketing, which is the right direction. But the challenge we have now is if no one cares about what a brand has to say anymore, how do we tell people about how good we are, and how are we going to create an environment of authenticity so that more people not only trust our products, but also become brand advocates? And the way we do that is, we basically let our existing customers do the talking for us through earned media. A lot of companies have started to do this, but the problem that we also face is we're also in an era where we're constantly creating more and more and more. Over the past 2 years, we've created 90% of all content that's ever been created in the history of humankind. So if you're GlaxoSmithKline, congratulations, you probably have a lot of content which you're able to sort of, use within your marketing assets. But bad news, you probably have an unimaginable amount of content that you need to sift through. So effectively, our technology helps brands navigate this issue, and it offers brands the ability to be able to discover, license, and distribute the most valuable content from your most engaged consumers easily and at scale. So the way that we do that is our platform collects content via social media through hashtags, at mentions, image tags. We can also allow clients to direct upload to a brand's website as well. We also use AI to be able to curate, moderate this content, so showing the bits you do want to show, hiding the bits you don't. Number 3, we also get consent from content creators, so we're able to get explicit digital rights for pieces of content that are valuable to a brand. So what we do is we collect, we curate, we get the consent, and then the 4th major element to our platform is we allow brands to be able to publish it in different places. Whether your goal is to reduce content costs by using more fan-based content, repurposing, onto your own social channels, achieving high engagement with content that's real, or implementing into e-commerce strategy and increasing conversion rates or average basket sizes. But ultimately, there's many different ways that you can use our platform to get your products into the hands of more consumers. We work with some of the world's biggest brands across many different use cases, but the overarching goal of our platform is to build and reestablish trust and authenticity within consumers through user-generated content and earned media, and ultimately get more of our clients' products into the hands of more consumers. And there's some examples from some of your products there of some user-generated content that we've pulled.
Boom. Thank you, Sam. Well done. Jason, we've got time for a couple of quick questions.
Couple questions. Thanks, Sam. I have one question here around how do you brand safeguard and manage that?
Yeah, so we have some pretty powerful artificial intelligence that we can use to create an automated set of rules, which will filter out content that will have, perhaps maybe offensive language or swear words or, nudity or things like that you'd want to filter out. We can create that by using automated rules with the AI, or we can create up our own rules as well that can scan for text as well. So that's what moderates the content that gets pulled through, because we understand that brands have messaging that they want to protect.
Cool.
And one more, if I could, do you recruit, or do you within your network, or do you just collect? How are you getting new influencers into your network?
Yep. So we have a communities platform that's launching Q2, so next month, which is Miappi Communities, which looks at trying to recruit more brand influencers and people that are posting about your brand that you want to engage with and add to a community.
Great.
Jason, we've got time for another question if you have any other ones.
Can you just quickly, and you might have mentioned this, but run through the platforms in which you can push it on? So what social networks, can I do it on my own properties, et cetera?
Yeah, so we collect content from all your major social channels, so Trustpilot, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. We can even do it through TikTok as well. And then once you get explicit consent to use this content, you're able to use it as far as your terms and conditions allow you to. So whether that's repurposing on your own social media channels, whether that's embedding onto your website, whether that's adding to product pages, whether that's, we can even feed it into digital display signage. So if you guys run events or if you want to have things in store, you can pretty much use it to whatever your imagination entails. Very cool. Long as you have a consent.
Sam, I'm interested in Myappy Communities. Is that a change of business strategy for you guys, or how do you see that evolving over the next few years?
Nope, so that's an additive to our platform. So basically, as you guys would have seen over sort of the past, sort of 5 years of influencer marketing, they don't really pack the punches it sort of used to. And we tend to see higher engagement from your sort of nano, micro, and macro influencers. So what we want to do is we want to make it easy for brands to be able to discover and engage with potential future ambassadors and potential future nano influencers, which they can use to obviously give creative briefs to and trial our products and basically just chase down better engagement.
Okay, very cool. All right, thanks, Sam. Stick around. We're going to be announcing the winner at the end of these 6 pitches. So we've got the insight from Instapanel. We're starting to get content from Myappy. But how do we start to engage people around GSK and connect with them in a way that is meaningful and immersive? Well, with a big idea to this, we've got Adludio. And from Adludio, we're joined by Kin. Kin, over to you.
Hi. I apologize in advance that my video is not on. My Wi-Fi where I am is appalling, especially today, so I apologize. But yeah, so I'm Kinvara. I head up the sales team at Adludio. Adludio is a global creative mobile tech platform. We're headquartered in London. We've been going for around 6 years. And as you can see, we've had quite substantial growth now with offices in the US and APAC and developing in Europe. The way we normally start these presentations is by asking a single question. What is your most memorable ad of all time? Normally, you'd most likely think of something you've watched on TV. But if I was to ask you what your most memorable mobile ad is, you'd be pretty hard pushed to give me an answer, although you've been exposed to dozens throughout the day. Why is this? TV is a great medium for broadcasting to vast numbers of people and engaging with them on an emotional level, triggering the senses of sight and sound. However, the way we consume content and interact with our mobile devices is fundamentally different. We constantly touch, feel, move, and swipe our first screens using our third sense, our sense of touch. So advertisers have a golden opportunity to produce ads with incredibly strong tactile creative that's intuitive to the way we use our phones. This is what Adludio is about. We create premium brand experiences that tap into the phone's native technologies to build more memorable ads. Here are 2 examples. So the first one is a user choice type creative. The user is invited to tap on the panel they want to explore. As they engage, a video is then displayed, and there's a clear CTA at the bottom inviting users to find out more. The second creative uses one of our innovation formats. It's called a physics unit. The user is invited to flick the ball, and as they engage, the ball will bounce around the frames of the iPhone, and then different products are then displayed. Again, there's a clear CTA at the bottom inviting users to find out more. We have our own in-house creative studio who work to incredibly fast turnaround times. We require 48 hours to produce storyboards and 10 working days on receipt of a booking to get a unit built, approved, and live. Great creative is only great, though, if it delivers immediately and responsively. We have layered our proprietary technology on top of HTML5 to create ads that load 10 times faster than traditional ad units. This technology also allows us to bill on a cost per engagement buying model, meaning that your budget is only ever activated once a user has physically engaged with the creative. When you run a campaign with us, we will provide you with a site list relevant to your desired audience. You have full transparency, and we can also work with you to create a bespoke list. Over the last 5 years, we have collected a significant amount of creative data via our machine learning algorithm. This helps us collect and analyze campaign performance and device engagements over time to recommend the best creative executions against your brand category and campaign KPI. Sensory advertising works because it's based on kinesthetic learning. We know that consumers are 10 times more likely to remember a brand that they have engaged with. Media spend goes into guaranteed voluntary user engagements, meaning Adludio campaigns are a proxy for brand uplift. And that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Kinvara. We've got time for a couple of quick questions. Jason?
Very interesting. Do you have any high-level results of where you've seen that sensory, specifically touch, is influencing the performance of creative?
Sorry, I missed the beginning of your question. There was no sound.
Try again, Jason.
Sorry.
Go again. Oh.
We might have lost her.
I'm here.
There we go. Go again, Jason. Yeah.
Sorry.
We're back on.
Oh, sorry. I was just asking, do you have any results where you've seen sensory, specifically touch, drive higher performance with creative?
Yeah, so we've run a lot of kind of external studies as well, comparing between, standardized ad units versus ours. We always see significant increase in ours. I mean, as I mentioned, it is sort of based on kinesthetic learning. You are more likely to remember something that you physically, actively participated in. And we definitely have like a bunch of kind of brand studies and results and reports on that too.
Okay.
And just one other question. We have a huge focus on being more inclusive within our creative, and I'm just curious if you've ever used your technology to make sure that messages are more applicable to underserved communities, whether it's disabilities or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, we can always look at sort of like A/B testing as well, different messaging. We have a study that we kind of run alongside activity called the Brand Impact Optimizer, which we're able to sort of measure different things like that. So we'll always kind of make sure that we're accommodating everything.
Very nice.
Okay, cool. We've got time for one more question if you want to sneak in another one, Jason.
One of the things you mentioned was your creative studio and the fast turnaround time. Could you just tell me a little bit about how that internal studio could partner with brands to make sure that they're building it properly?
Yeah, so we have kind of a bit like a consultant approach, I guess. On every campaign that we run, we always have a creative call where we work with the creative agency, with the brand. You get a designated designer and developer who kind of oversees the whole process from start to finish. We know that some brands, have loads of assets that they want to utilize, some have less so. So we'll always kind of guide and recommend what we think will work best. And then we like to kind of produce a storyboard sort of outlining the user journey and then a video demo so you can see the level of animation behind the creative, a bit like the two examples I showed earlier in the deck.
Okay, very cool.
Great.
Ken, thanks for joining. Do stick around. We're going to be going into our next pitch now. So healthcare is a category that by definition is personal. How can GSK engage with people in a personalized way at scale through video? Well, here with a solution to that is Spirable. And from Spirable, we're joined by Sam. Sam, over to you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Hi, Jason. Thanks for having me today. I'm just here to tell you a little bit about what Spirable does and what we do to help some of the world's leading brands. So we all know users are receiving more and more content everywhere they go these days. It's obviously getting harder for marketers to grab their attention. Increasingly, it's becoming even more important to produce quality ads to try and stand out from the crowd. Both Facebook and Google have actually even stated that 70% of the ad performance lies within the creative. Of course, standing out from the crowd requires something different for each individual. So we must also acknowledge that creative is a very personal thing. But how can you create hyper-relevant, personalized ads at scale across all of your campaigns? Well, that's where we come in. Spirable is a self-serve video ad platform. It allows you to create, automate, distribute, and optimize dynamic creative across all your channels. You can easily scale ads using data and automation and make them more contextually relevant and in turn increase that performance. So it's an end-to-end platform. So as you can see at the top of the diagram, you simply take your modular creative assets, often existing images, text, videos, that kind of thing. And then through Spirable, you use live and contextual data to drive personalization and render multiple versions across all of your channels. So to build this dynamic creative on the platform, Spirable takes those modular assets, or what we refer to as layers, and essentially brings in live data to influence what is shown on screen. So as you can see in the diagram, anything can be a layer. As you see, a dynamic background, a dynamic product layer, a particular data feed, or perhaps some dynamic copy. So just to clarify for you, really, this is an example of what a data-driven video ad looks like in action. So this is two versions that have both been produced from a single template. So already those production efficiencies are kind of showing themselves. On the left, the ad's being served in London. It's 1 p.m. and we're focusing on the UV index, which here is 8. So the ad is showing the daytime London backdrop, and the most relevant product, given that the UV is 8, has already been predetermined to be the red sunscreen. Now, again, same template, but on the right, the ad's now being served in Paris. It's 5 p.m. As you can see, the copy's now in French, and the UV index is 6. So now the most relevant product is no longer the red sunscreen, but the orange creme solaire. So it's decided, and it's pulling in the relevant creative for the most useful product for that viewer and their environment. So this would be a great use case for something like Theraflu, where you'd want to be sending different messages in separate markets when the temperature drops on different days throughout the winter. So we've looked at a couple of different data triggers there, but we can pull in a number of others. You can utilize your audience data from your channels. Contextual data could be as simple as a layer switching between morning and evening or addressing the appropriate city. We can also bring in locational data, as you saw, weather, temperature, and once again, it always comes back to making sure the ad is in keeping with that user's environment. So both of these are great examples of making little changes. And when it comes to this kind of personalization, these things make a huge difference. And we've seen cases where they've resulted in up to a 30% increase in engagement. Our clients love Spirable for many reasons. As I mentioned, production efficiencies. At the front end, it's simple to use. You can utilize existing assets. And then when you're scaling, you can literally create thousands of ads from a single template. And at the other end, you can see up to a 5 times return on ROI and uplifts in engagement, CTR, whatever your KPI might be. Ultimately, Spirable helps you create more ads for a fraction of the cost in a fraction of the time that will outperform generic creative. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thanks, Sam. Some good examples there and some great results. Yeah. Jason, we've got time for one quick question.
All right, very interesting. It's something we actually do a lot of. Help me understand how your system talks with where the creative will be flighting. So, for example, how does it dock into a Google DV360 or something like that?
Yeah, so we've got partnerships with DV360, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. And essentially the way it happens is we integrate from the platform, we just send all that directly into whichever server it might be, so whether it's Business Manager or the back end of DV360. We don't actually deal with any data on the platform. It's all kind of one-way traffic out of the platform. But with those partnerships, it helps really ease media trafficking and that kind of stuff. But we often work with the brand, the agency, whoever's doing that trafficking to make sure everything is as easy as it can be.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you, Sam. Stick around. That's 4 down. We've got 2 to go now. And for the 5th pitch, we're going to be looking at sampling. Sampling obviously is still a vital part of the marketing mix, but it comes with challenges and inefficiencies. A company that is transforming that space and bringing innovation to sampling is called Tryit. And from Tryit, we're joined by Alex. Alex, over to you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Hi, I'm Alex, the founder of Tryit, and we use a modern combination of data science and technology to help UK consumers discover new favourite products and brands, all from the comfort and safety of home for free. We've organically grown our community to well over 1 million UK consumers, enabling us to create advanced data-driven in-home experiences for brands that produce industry-leading online and offline results every single time. Using Sensodyne as a quick example, firstly, we would hyper-target from our huge community of everyday influence, pulling in a range of data points from the consumer Tryit profiles. looking at all the basics like age, gender, social grade and location, down to specific points of relevance. For example, with Sensodyne, we can look at the sensitivity of teeth, consumers who suffer from this issue, as well as shopping at selected stores where that product might be available. This methodology allows us to create zero waste campaigns and make sure that we are only engaging the most relevant customers to drive maximum value from any given activity. Secondly, we'd align objectives to the campaign that would help execute, analyse and optimise the overarching brand and growth strategy. For example, we've chosen the 4 most common campaign objectives, all of which can be achieved simultaneously through a single pilot campaign activity. These objectives are awareness and influence, business intelligence, user-generated content, and customer acquisition. Next, we choose the best format of engagement for the campaign, the one that's the most suitable given the campaign objectives and the targeting preferences. And in this case, we'll use a bespoke experience, delivering a memorable and educational physical product trial safely and contactlessly in the right consumers' homes. Naturally, we take care of all the design, manufacture, fulfillment and distribution, and all we need from the brand is the stock, a high-res product image, and a quick call with our data scientists. For Triyit, for consumers, Triyit is all about surprise and delight. So the lucky group who match this campaign will be alerted by SMS and email, allowing them to opt in to the mystery campaign via the Triyit platform. Once confirmed in the campaign, they simply wait for the dispatch text and the mystery package to arrive. The campaign impact should be visible from the moment boxes begin landing, as thousands of consumers take to their devices to share their Sensodyne experience with friends and family. Absolutely everything that we cover is tracked and measured and reported on as standard, giving the GSK team a true measure of how both the activity and the physical product performed. Our campaigns are all built to drive max value from sampling. For us, sampling is only the vehicle and is related to the overarching objectives. So based on 3 years of historical data, analysing activities of this format and volume, we'd forecast the following results from this small pilot activity. So for example, just from 10,000 bespoke experiences, we'd expect the following results. Over 5,000 social posts from authentic consumers, a digital campaign reach of well over 1 million, 13,000 pieces of written and visual user-generated content, all available for repurpose, a 9,000 person custom focus group, again with assistance from our team of data scientists to help extract that data that's most valuable, and 45% conversion from hyper-targeted trial, which is testament to us engaging only those who are statistically most probable to engage and enjoy a particular product. All of our campaigns are flexible to cater for a wide variety of brands and their objectives, and they're fully scalable too, with a rapidly expanding community and new e-commerce channel partnerships, enabling distributions in the millions of products. I'd love to welcome any questions, and thanks for listening.
Thank you, Alex. Well done. Yeah, Jason, we've got time for a quick question there.
Okay. Are you able to layer over any sales data to isolate users versus non-users?
You can, certainly, yes. It would come down to whether the primary or secondary email address is what you might have. You can, in the same way that you would initiate an opt-in, you can have an opt-out. So if you wanted to identify non-customers, you could serve them an opt-out selection to identify which brands and products that they already buy.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Alex. That's 5 down. We've got 1 more to go. And as we all know, healthcare, it can be a very high engagement category. And GSK have a huge number of personal experts and people that can offer advice. So a company that is linking large brands directly to in-house experts is Appointed. And from Appointed, we're joined by Leah. Leah, over to you.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Hutcheon, and I'm the founder and CEO of Appointed. Appointed is a global scheduling solution, and we enable customers like GSK to connect and boost engagement with both consumers and experts via an omni-channel approach. But we're more than just an online booking system. We manage the impact of that booking right the way through the user journey. These are some of our booking tools. You can see here we've mocked it up with the GSK branding, but this is our off-the-shelf tool. And we take on the look and feel of the website that our tools are plugged into. It's a simple line of code. We can take on fonts and branding, or you can completely custom design your own booking flow with our open API. Here's an example booking flow, which can work for consultations, masterclasses, events. This example is just a simple 3-step with the location search, the time and date selector, and then the confirmation, and it kickstarts a whole communications flow on the back of that. Appointed powers some of the world's most trusted brands, from household retailers to 2 of the big 4 consultancy firms, to some of the world's largest healthcare providers, including the NHS. We've been working with them on occupational flu vaccinations, COVID testing, and COVID vaccinations. We unfortunately can't speak about the private healthcare clients, but as you can imagine, we're doing quite a bit around COVID. We believe that Appointed can get GSK products into the hands and mouths of consumers and experts, ensuring that the positive benefits can be experienced by more people. We envisage the ability to power one-to-one virtual consultations or in-person consultations. Consumers will be able to select an alternative engagement route. We can take those virtual consultations into in-person so that you're getting a blended approach. We've been working with the team at the Trelles Trust in this way about starting a consultation online through booking questions and virtual consultation, and then bringing those into in-person, which has allowed the food bank users to really keep their dignity. We see this could be utilised by some of your solutions. We also offer group masterclass events where we could envisage training sessions, refresher sessions, product launches, all bookable via Appointed. We have a native Zoom integration, and we're just finalising Microsoft Teams, so you can virtually host those events. And our time zone technology is the best in the world, so you can really engage with your customers and your experts wherever they are in the world from one centralised platform. We have some amazing results coming from the use of our tools, from engagement to conversion. The users of Appointed's scheduling functionality are really seeing the benefits in their business. We wanted to stop and finish with a word from one of our customers. We've worked with Space NK for a number of years now. We're super hyper-focused on finding a solution to your specific problems. We build demand by reinventing the traditional brand-consumer relationship, and we'd be really proud to do that with GSK too. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Leah. Well done. Jason, got time for a couple of questions?
Yeah, so thanks for that. As you know, experts are a focus for GSK. Do you use a database yourself where we could connect consumers to the right expert through your platform, or do we need to have our own experts to connect consumers with?
So we do the connection piece more than bringing the experts ourselves. So ideally you would bring your own experts. However, as I say, we've been doing quite a lot in healthcare recently, and we have a very partnership approach. So we would love to collaborate with you. And if finding those experts was something that you'd like us to work on, then we could definitely look into that for you. But traditionally, we're just about connecting your experts with your customers.
Got it.
Okay.
And then just one more question is this something you can build in an app? So can we build this as an addition to a current app experience that we have?
Absolutely. So again, we can just integrate via a line of code really easily, our off-the-shelf tools, or you can build a full booking flow there. We work with lots of different customers in that way. In fact, Facebook have recently integrated us into an app that they use, their teams use for financial wellness. So we're integrated into a Teams-based app there, and it works really, really well to enable the Facebook employees to engage Facebook experts on financial wellness.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you, Leah. A big idea there for GSK. And
so
thank you to all 6 startups for some amazing pitches. What's going to happen now is we're going to give Jason and his team 5 minutes to go away and decide who is the winner of the 20K paid pilot with GSK. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It has been fast and furious. 6 startups have pitched their big idea, 3-minute pitches, and then we're over to the team at GSK to talk us through their thoughts on what's happened. Jason, we kicked off with a pitch from Instapanel and their big idea for consumer insights. What were your thoughts on Instapanel?
I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, I think it's a really relevant space to be in right now, specifically as a lot of brands are jumping into uncharted waters and they want to get consumer reactions quickly. And I think this provides that. So I really liked that. And I also thought the way you could analyze the video reactions versus just survey-based or initial responses, I thought was a nice touch.
Cool. And then we heard from Myappy and user-generated content. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic on how you could use user-generated content and start to leverage it across your own channels. I thought it was also a great touch into a way of building trust. I mean, at GSK, we look at our experts, but also we look at how consumers can become experts. And I thought that this was a really nice way of allowing a platform for us to do that.
Okay, very cool. And then we had a look at Adludio, and they shared their big idea for driving engagement through an interesting approach to creative.
Very exciting. Admittedly, I'd like to see a little more results because I think that this is fascinating. And if it's something that we could start to test, I would be extremely interested in. And there is something there around providing creative that can be more inclusive for people in specific sensory areas. So I thought that was really promising.
Cool. And then Spirable came on with their idea of driving engagement through personalized videos. What were your thoughts on that?
I really like this one. So something that we do quite a lot with. We have a lot of our own consumer databases that we use to personalize creative. So I definitely like this area that they're going in. And I appreciated what he had mentioned around the partnerships that he had.
And then we looked at Tryit and their approach to sampling. Thoughts on Tryit?
Yeah, it's something that we don't do currently that I would like to start to look at. We sample amongst our experts, whether it's dentists or HCPs. And we don't really do direct to consumer, so I would be interested in knowing more. I had some questions that I can follow up with Alex on, just as far as restrictions that he has, country, locations, etc.
Okay, yeah, interesting. And then we finished up with Appointed and their idea of connecting consumers to experts. What were your thoughts on that?
This one was really interesting to me. So something I don't know a lot about, admittedly. I thought it was a really nice service option. I think I would be more into collaborating on connecting consumers to local experts. I think is really interesting because we ourselves don't have a plethora of experts that we could offer right now. But I do think there's something interesting there about connecting experts, the right expert to the right consumer.
Okay. But so it sounds like there's lots of opportunities there, Jason, and hopefully there will be many partnerships come out of this. But for the purpose of today, we're asking you to name one winner of the 20K paid pilot for GSK. So Jason, the winner for the challenge today is?
It is hard. There's plenty that I would like to follow up with, but for today, the team and I'd like to congratulate Samuel at Myappy. We'd love to work with you.
Well done. Well done, Sam. Fantastic. Well deserved.
Sorry, had to excuse my celebration.
Congratulations, Sam. Yeah, we'll connect you with Jason and the team after this, and you can carry on those conversations. And of course, Jason will connect you with the other companies as well, so you can continue those conversations as well. But thank you, Sam. Well done to you, and well done to each of the 6 companies for fantastic pitches and some great ideas that can really transform the industry.